We are back looking at the Kellogg chimp and human experiment. But this time we got a little new perspective. If you're new to my channel, check out the link and have a quick look at the Kellogg chimp and human experiment. So, first we're at the Dog Culture Review playlists, where we look at what people are doing with their kids. So, this is what they're doing right here. How in the world do you think that's funny? It's not funny at all. This poor kid is just trying to ride his bike. If you look at earlier points in this video, he's visually frustrated and disturbed. You're making this kid be accountable for the dog. You're forcing the kid, instead of being accountable for himself, riding his bike around, and if he screws up a little bit, he might crash, but it's going to be on him. So he's going to learn to be accountable for himself, you know. For example, if he goes too far, maybe he goes over here, mom and dad are going to be like, hey, get back here. We told you to stay close. And then he's going to be accountable for himself. But now, all of his actions as he tries to cruise around here, now he has to be accountable for this stupid dog. Constantly falling on his head. You can see in some points the dog actually tries to bite his hand, but kind of hesitates because the parents are kind of whining and crying in the background. But there's a huge thing about accountability right here. If you want to understand this more, have a look at my playlist. It's called Parenting Failure, allowing dogs to do this to kids. So all these kids are constantly being knocked on their face. They're constantly having to hide their food, hide their body. They have to be accountable for all of their parents' dipshit dogs that are running around causing problems, instead of being accountable for themselves. Like this one right here, the wiener dog knocks the kid onto his face, looks like possibly injures his nose, but the kid is like low key in trouble from his dad because he didn't walk the dog properly. So do you think that this is teaching kids like some kind of great thing? No, it's teaching kids to be accountable for a stupid beast that their idiot parents are putting in their lives. So this is a problem today with accountability in general. Nothing's my fault. It's all your fault. Nothing is anybody's fault. We see this with the dog owners all the time. They'll say no bad dogs, blame the owners. But then the owners will say, well, it's not my fault. Something triggered my dog. My dog didn't have training. My dog didn't have this. My dog didn't have that. The accountability is just a can that dog culture pushes down the road. But check this out. When you have experience where you're constantly held accountable to others instead of yourself, this is how your brain basically gets atrophied. All of that critical thinking and understanding your part in everything that happens in the world, all of that gets shut down. You turn into like a zombie that doesn't understand the real world. And so check this out. This can this can lead to justifying inaction and blaming others. This is right out of dog culture. Justifying the inaction. Yeah. Pit bull owners, for example, they're on Facebook all the time, social media, promoting pit bulls. These dogs are so great, so great, so great. Then two or three toddlers will get mauled over the weekend, and they have inaction because they won't speak the truth that those dogs can and will kill toddlers as well as other small animals. So that's the moral accountability part of this. As we push out dog ownership as some type of amazing thing, that's like inaction because we're ignoring the truth. We're ignoring the truth because we don't have any accountability. We grew up worrying about dogs all of our life, like this part right here, being accountable for the actions of the dog. And so now, as a dog owner, you're just pushing accountability off to everybody else. Be it your dog that attacks somebody, They'll say, well, the child triggered it. Well, the little dog barked too much. Well, I didn't get it from a reputable breeder. They'll have 500 reasons lined up. The local county humane society and state police or whoever else, they'll show up on the pit bull attack video. We're going to do an investigation and see why this happened. And meanwhile, the child is in the hospital, holding on to life with its face ripped open. But they're going to do an investigation to see who might be accountable for a fanged predator killing a toddler. So when it comes to having accountability, moral accountability, and understanding your part in every problem and every solution, for you to start abandoning that part of your humanity as a human, what you would have to do is be around a creature that also has no moral accountability, like a dog. A dog has no moral accountability. So we got to go back and look, because we've already proved this. We've already demonstrated this. So let's have a look at this experiment through the lens of moral accountability and Christianity. I'll just play a part of this for you.
Started getting violent with their child, and they had to abandon their experiment. So what is the big difference between chimpanzees, or primates, and human beings? Well, primates are beasts, and we're not. We're made in the image of God with a
Dogs are beasts, and we're not. So putting us in close proximity with the beast of the dog means that we have to adopt dog-like, no moral accountability behavior, just like with this chimp.
moral accountability. We have a conscience. We have a structure that sets up court systems. We believe in right and wrong and retribution. The animals don't do that. And that's because we are made in the image of God, and we are morally accountable, something that believers in evolution.
Morally accountable. There you go. So you want to wonder why people are so unaccountable? Because they've grown up with a house full of dogs or similar situations. I know it's not just dogs, but everywhere we look now, it's tiny apartments with kids being their attention being kept by dogs while their parents are somewhere else looking at cell phones or whatever. And all these dog attacks prove it, because a lot of them, it's like, well, we put the kid in the other room with the dog and we don't know what happened. We just turned our mouth, or we just turned our head for a second. Yeah, because you put the kid with the dog. And the moral accountability is like, this is so huge. If you're not indoctrinated, or I'm sorry, familiar, indoctrination's a bad word, but if you're not familiar with what's going on in dog culture, check the links below. I'll show you how some of these stories go with the dog attacks. There's always zero accountability. I noticed this in a recent story. I did a video on it, but a man was attacked by pit bulls, and he told his story, and all of the pit bull owners came into the comments to post up pictures of their dog. Look at me, I have a yellow lab. Look at me, I have a pit bull. He ate Cheetos 2 Fridays ago. They are totally clueless of how them putting their dogs up on Facebook, pretending like dog ownership is the best thing ever. They are also morally accountable, because they're pushing out this propaganda that dog ownership is the best thing ever. So when these people that get attacked by pit bulls approach a pit bull, their mind has already been brainwashed, and they think it's okay to stick their face, their body, their wife, their husband, their car, and everything else in front of these dogs. And that's where the moral accountability could easily prevent so many of these nasty things. So, see you guys in the next one, and don't forget to check out this playlist. It's called the Chimp Sister Experiment, and it explains the longer story of how they put this chimp Gua with the toddler. Both of them ended up dying. The toddler ended up later committing suicide in life. See you guys later.